With Rwanda organizing the 4th edition of African National Championship, CHAN, it was a golden opportunity for FIFA President Candidate to come over in Rwanda to express their ideas and the plans of what they would like to do when they are elected the President of FIFA come February 29th. Rwanda Broadcasting Agency sat down with His Royal Highness Prince bin Ali Al Hussein to express with us on how he plans to lead FIFA. Here is the exclusive interview. We sit down and talk with him in its entirety. Malkaba bikum Sheikh.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Well done.
Thank you. Mr. Prince, I understand that you met with the Foreign Minister, Madam Louise Mushikiwabo, and His Excellency President of the Republic of Rwanda, Paul Kagame. What was the talking point? What was the main key talking point that you were talking with him?
Well, first of all, we had the honor of meeting with the President and Her Excellency, the Minister of Foreign Affairs. It's such a beautiful country, I must say, so it's wonderful to be here. And obviously, we talked, I passed on the greetings of His Majesty the King, who has so much respect for Rwanda, and as well as explain to them what we want to do, what my plans are for FIFA and for the future of football.
Now you are visiting Rwanda in a different context. I can say while Rwanda is hosting a very huge competition, CHAN, the second biggest tournament in Africa, and what is your take on this competition, in CHAN in particular and Rwanda in particular?
Well, it's a great competition. It's very, very important for the development of football, and so thank you, Rwanda, for hosting the tournament. I'll certainly be coming back for the final and the 3rd and 4th place. So we wish you all the best of luck for the tournament, and I hope it goes very, very well.
Now, I understand that your wife is connected in Africa. She's from Algeria. And now, her being connected with Africa, does that give you a chance for Africans to trust in you and give you their votes?
Well, she's very proud, obviously, of coming from the continent. Her father, Lakhdar Brahimi, worked, obviously he was Foreign Minister of Algeria at one point, and worked with the United Nations, with Kofi Annan as well. So, and my children say that their heritage is African, so, so I'm very proud of that.
Okay, yeah. Now, what is your take on the state of the game right now, and how Africa fared since the 2010 World Cup in South Africa?
I think the 2010 World Cup was extremely important, and so I want to be the one to help as much as possible the continent in terms of progressing forward, both on a national team level and as well with clubs and leagues. And I really believe that there's so much potential in Africa, and if we do things right, we'll see a world champion soon, I hope.
Now talking to Africa again, I need to know what is your plan, your strategic plan for the development of football in Africa, especially for youth development and organizing competitions, and like in general, how do you plan, if you are elected as a president of FIFA, how do you plan to help Africa to develop their game in general?
Well, maybe as opposed to others, I do come from a national association, which is very important. So for me, I look at reversing the pyramid. And for me, I believe that it's not FIFA that owns football, it's football that owns FIFA.
Absolutely.
So I have come out with a manifesto, with a plan. On one hand, we need to increase a lot the support for national associations, because we need them to have their dignity, to be able to stand on their own feet. In terms of development, that's also critical. A lot of things have been done well in the past, but we can do so much more, and that's what I want to bring to the table. And we need to have much more increased development projects, and really, first of all, get all the basics, whether it's kits, balls, pitches, because there's so many places that have a real lack of facilities and infrastructure. At the same time, I want to develop the human aspect. So I want to do a scholarship program. So if you have good coaches or potential coaches, bearing in mind that players, their career span is quite short, then we can take them and attach them to clubs and leagues outside, for example, for a few months, so they can see really how football football is developing elsewhere and bring that experience back to their home countries. Those are a few of the plans, but that's what we're looking at.
We didn't need that, especially in East and Central African zone, because for sure some of our players are lacking that exposure and opportunity to go abroad. And now there's a gap between European and African football, and the gap is very wide. How do you plan to address that?
Well, first of all, for myself, I want to unite FIFA in terms of how they do things. I've seen a little bit, if I can be honest, it's almost like the last remnants of colonialism when it comes to the sport. And you have different confederations who are very protectionist. No, we have to gain the experience from each other and get people working together. And I believe I can bridge that gap. But we do have to put a lot more support into domestic leagues. At the end of the day, okay, there are star players outside, but we need to have real homegrown players and give them the development and the grassroots tools that they need. For both men and women, by the way. I'm a big supporter of the women's game as well. So that's what we need to do. And at the end of the day, they will serve their national teams.
Yes. Now, a few months ago, you withdrew from president election. You stood up. You were head-to-head with Mr. Blatter, and now you withdraw later on, in second round. What gives you more motivation this time around to feel like now I'm ready enough to lead, to be elected the president of FIFA?
Well, it's simple. I love football, and I really want to dedicate myself to working for football around the world. I grew up with the sport. I played when I was young, obviously on we didn't have grass pitches. I still have a couple of rocks in my knees from those days. But I want to provide for our youth what we didn't have, and I think that's the critical thing. But in order to do so, we have to improve the reputation of the organization. And I'm also committed to that. I have my own family values, which I learned from my father, His late Majesty King Hussein. And it's good ethics, but it's also a total dedication to people who you're serving. And so I want to bring that also to the table.
Okay. Now, we've seen you going in different matches, attending different matches. We've seen you a few weeks ago.
Fan. What can I do?
A few weeks ago, we saw you watching a game of Barcelona, the final of World Club Cup. And we also saw you when Nigeria was playing in Under 23 African Cup. You were there in stadiums, and now your participations on the game, on the stadiums, really connects you with the game. So how do you want to dedicate that drive, that passion with the game? And does that what makes you stand out above all the competitors?
Sure. I mean, I'm about football, and I know that obviously this is a campaign and it's very tough. But I'm always going to stay connected to the sport itself, and that's what I come from, and that's why I'm always there. I was also at the Arsenal game in London the other day. I'm an Arsenal fan, so so I was there, and that's the important thing. I'm in touch with the grassroots. And I became president of our football association at a young age. And it was actually the encouragement of our players who said, "Look, we need somebody to represent us," and that's the way I've always been, and that's the philosophy and the new culture that I want to bring to FIFA.
Right now, there are two most powerful men in world football, Mr. Blatter and Mr. Platini in UEFA. They were banned for 8 years. And now the next person was Jerome Vark, who was also banned by FIFA Executive Committee. Now, how do you want to address this issue, and how do you plan to restructure FIFA in a way that all the supporters, commercial partners, including Coca-Cola, MasterCard, and others, to again believe in FIFA that they really need to invest their money inside?
Well, that's a crucial point that I want to make. I mean, I am in touch with our sponsors, and my biggest worry is that if we don't get it right this time, in this election in February. And if we do have more scandals coming down the line, whether in a year or two, then it will be a huge problem for FIFA. FIFA is the umbrella for the whole world. And there is talk of let's have a new organization. No, my goal is to save FIFA. And that's what I want to do. But we have to have an open body. I think, as much as football is popular around the world, the reputation is where it is. So we will have a transparency in FIFA and the headquarters. We will be open to all, including yourselves as journalists who play a very important role. And restoring the faith will be something that I'm totally dedicated to. I will also be a president who takes full responsibility for what happens in the organization.
And be able to clear that image
and not to put the blame on others, as maybe we have seen in the past. And I'm dedicated to doing that. And then from there, I think that we will get so much more support, and that will go directly back into football, into our grassroots, and doing the job which we're there for.
Yes. And again now, we can now talk about Africa is a big continent that plays a big part in 209 members of FIFA, because there are 54 of them. Now, how are you working with all the FIFA, all the African members, the federation? How do you plan to work with them so that they really feel like you are the right person to give voice?
Yeah, sure. Well, I hope they feel that obviously that I am one of them, which is the case, and you know, I'm working for the whole world as well. But Africa is so crucial in terms of the development of the sport. You have the talent and the ability, and it's just incredible. So what I want to do is work with the football associations, also give them my message and listen to them. One of the things that I do more than anything else is to listen to our national associations, because they know what they need on the ground, and that's how I want to be different. That's how I want to work. To listen to their ideas, and I'm there to implement them. So it's a bit of both.
Now, lastly, I'm curious to know whether you will come back in Rwanda before this competition ends.
Yes, as I say, I'll be back definitely for the last 2 games. So I wish the best of luck for the teams participating, for yourselves, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
So we will see you at the final.
Of course.
So you will give the cup to the champions.
Well, I won't. I will be at the finals for sure, and I'll be cheering everyone on.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Now, Mr. Bin, can you say a word to everyone who would love to give you votes? What is your message to everyone? A supporter, a fan, a reader in the football world. What is your message to all those people?
Well, I want everybody to be proud of football again, and that I will be there to serve the game and nothing else. And I want for FIFA, for our members, to be proud of wearing the FIFA badge again, which is very important. And in terms of myself, I'm there to protect the game, protect our national associations. Now is a critical time to have leadership. There are some who say, you know, the leader should be more symbolic. No. This is not. This is a critical, crucial time, and I will be there to support the game, and hopefully to make all of the stakeholders, our fans, our players, and I'll make them proud.
Thank you, and shukran jazilan.
Afwan. Thank you very much. Real pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
Sir.
Pleasure.
Bye.